Okay, so this is a story that starts with a lot of driving. Over the last few years, I've been driving between LA and Taos a lot. It's a long drive across the desert. And I really like to not listen to the news, not listen to the radio, just drive, you know. And I started to notice all of these broken down trailers in the desert. They're everywhere. And I started to have fantasies about what was going on inside these trailers. Like, sorry, like maybe inside one there was a portal to another world. Or maybe there was an amethyst light-filled crystal cave, like being inside a giant glowing geode. And I was imagining this, and as an artist, I start thinking, well, what would that be like to actually build that? Could I build that? How do I go about building it? So it's not much of a stretch, I guess, because this is my work, the work I've been doing for years now. It's cast glass. For me, it's about light and color. And what inspires me is trafficking in this language that's outside the language of words. It's about how light and color make our bodies feel. It's about imagination. Sorry, I'm nervous. And so I wanted to create a whole room full of these inside one of those trailers so that you could just walk inside and be completely immersed in this light and color. So this is my desk. The next step was for me to write a proposal to try to make this project happen. And I wrote a proposal to a show called High Desert Test Sites, where artists put their projects out in the Mojave outside LA. And it was a long shot for me, but I got into the show, and then I thought, oh my God, now I really have to build this thing, and I only have 6 months, and I have no money. And so what to do? And Wendy Shuey made an amazing video for me, and a whole bunch of people came together, and thanks to all of you, I raised money to launch this project. And the first thing I did with the money was to buy this trailer. And I spent a long time looking for the perfect trailer, which for me meant it was unassuming. It wasn't special. The treasure was going to be on the inside. And then I started to cast the hundreds of pieces of glass that it would take to line the inside of this trailer. This is a picture of my studio table when I was building the glass for the trailer. I use a really old process called lost wax casting, which is the way bronze has traditionally been cast. Each mold is destroyed in the firing, so there are no multiples. Each piece is its own thing, and so to make hundreds of pieces of glass takes hundreds of hours. And I keep asking myself why I'm going to all this trouble. It's really difficult, and the answer is to get at this light and color that I want, and it's worth it to me. This is what my hands look like when I do this work, really. And I think that this was a list of what I needed to get at the store that day. So while I'm casting the glass, Greg Hawks, who is a guy who can build anything, is doing structural modifications to the inside of the trailer. The main one I want to talk about here is that we're turning the trailer into a giant light box. We're retrofitting the whole roof of the trailer to be big skylights so that the glass inside can be lit from the light from the sky. This is me inside the trailer after we've built the interior chamber, and you can really see how the light is different in the middle of the day, at twilight, at sunset. And this was my favorite thing about the piece, was that the light changed over the course of the day, and it was never the same inside the trailer. Okay, this is us driving the piece to the Mojave Desert for the High Desert Test Sites exhibition in Joshua Tree. We camped out for a couple of weeks installing this piece in the desert, and it was kind of harsh. The conditions were harsh. We had the Westie, but it almost blew over in a dust storm. Johnny Long and Sasha Von Dorp, who are talented artists in their own right, I was lucky enough that they had this window of time away from their projects to work on mine. And they really helped to get us to this point, which is the opening weekend of High Desert Test Sites. And for me, what was great is that this trailer looked like one of the trailers I imagined that I saw out in the desert, just lonely off on its own. And we made people walk a long way up to the trailer. You couldn't drive up to it. So there's this long approach. And when you get there, this is what you see. And so all this work, modifying the trailer into a big light box, casting all this glass, dragging it across the desert, was really just for this one moment where you would go inside and this is what you would see. And for me, this was about the fantasy of finding treasure where you least expect it, and also about being completely immersed in light and color and how you feel in your body in that space. And so anyway, what I also really liked about High Desert Test Sites was that the people who came had to drive down long dirt roads, they had to hike. It was really about being there. You couldn't just click a button on your computer and get there. You had to really go. And so this is Wendy and Golux coming out of seeing the piece. And I wanted to end with this because this is how I felt. I felt like it was so much fun to have this whole group of people, Wendy, Johnny, Sasha, Greg, everybody come together and make this dream, this fantasy kind of take shape, right?